Hello, I'd like to welcome everybody to this webinar training. I'm joined by Siddhant Jain from Video Cipher. Today we're going to be talking about protecting your course and membership site content with video piracy protection. And this is a joint webinar between LifterLMS and Video Cipher. Siddhant is from Video Cipher, and he showed me what they offered in terms of protecting videos that a lot of you have been asking for and just had concerns about in terms of you put all this work into creating your video content, and even though it may be, some of it may be behind a membership or inside your course, there's still a lot of piracy concerns out there, and there's a lot that people can do if they really want to get a hold of your video. But Siddhant's got some ways around that. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I just want to welcome Bill, Diane, Jan, Joda, Keith, Lynn, Mark, Michael, Tanya. Welcome to the call. We've got some more people jumping in. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A box here in Zoom. There's also a chat feature. And if at the end, we'll do a Q&A. And if you want to raise your hand, there's a feature in Zoom where you can raise your hand. We can talk live and take your questions that way. So keep the questions coming as we're talking today. And also be sure to stick around to the end. We're going to be giving away at LifterLMS a $99 add-on of your choice. There's going to be one winner to that. So if you're around at the end, we're going to do a drawing and select that. If you want something more expensive than that, we'll give you a credit against something more expensive. If you already have something you're happy with from Lifter, we'll extend your license. Siddhant's also going to be giving away a discount on the call, so look forward to that. Yvonne, I see you just jumped in here. Welcome. Diane, Jan, we've got some more people coming. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to the call. Siddhant, how you doing today?
Yeah, I am great. Thanks, Chris, for the introduction. And hello to all. So it is great talking to you all, and I would explain further in the call. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's jump right into it. Can you just take us on a tour and tell us what Video Cipher is all about? And by the way, we'll put a link in the chat on how to get over to Video Cipher if you're interested in checking out this tool. And if you're watching this on the replay, there's a button below this video that has that link to go check that out. But tell us all about it. Take us to town, Siddhant. I'll hand it over to you and take us on a tour of what this is all about.
Yeah. Hello to all. So welcome to the common webinar between LifterLMS and Video Cipher. I would be going through an introduction on what Video Cipher is, what security offers, features we offer, and what is the pricing, what are the other features than security, and how do we integrate with LifterLMS. So in the following webinar. So now I will be sharing my screen from the following time to showcase you the demo and all the features. Later we will discuss also the integration part with LifterLMS. So I'm just going to share my screen in a bit. I hope my screen is visible to.
It looks good.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So all you know about LifterLMS, so a powerful LMS which we are happy to work with. So coming to what Video Cipher is. So if you look at our website, so we provide video streaming solutions for businesses on their site or app to stream content in most secure, smooth, and affordable manner. So most of you are premium content providers. You provide video courses at a certain price. You keep them behind a payment membership, but still many of you would know that there are free tools and downloaders which can download your videos, and they cause a loss in revenue due to piracy. So what Video Cipher does in basic essence is that video streamed through Video Cipher player can't be downloaded using any internet plugins or software. So suppose you are using something like YouTube or Vimeo, then you might have heard of tools like Video Download Helper, IDM. They are easy. They can easily grab almost any video on the web. So if you use Video Cipher, then any such tool doesn't work against it. So how we do it, we will come it in a while. So there are a lot of security offerings. So first is the encrypted DRM video streaming. So what happens in case of other players like say YouTube? The complete data stream right from server to player, it is a direct video transfer. There is no encryption. But there are certain other companies which do provide encryption in the name of something like say RTMP or HLSE. So these are some of the commonly known encryption technologies in the world. But the key exchange mechanism of these technologies is quite open, and ultimately people or tool can hack into it. So what we use is not actually RTMP encryption or HLS encryption as sold by many of the other video players, but what we provide is a high secure DRM video streaming. So DRM essentially means digital rights management. So we use certain industry standard encryption protocols to secure content, and the complete data transfer right from server to player is encrypted. So we use a combination of various DRMs like Widevine, Fairplay, and then some of bit of our proprietary technology. So some of you might know it, like the big media sites like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, they do protect their content using the same DRMs. So essentially what we have done, the technology on security, which was only in the reaches of high size media companies like Netflix, we have brought it down and packaged it together with video hosting, a WordPress plugin, and we are able to bring it down for all size of customers, especially e-learning segment. So these DRMs are industry approved by Google, Apple, Microsoft for their respective device and browsers. And together with our implementation, it ensures that no downloader or plugin can get to your content. So this is, for example, the most commonly used DRM across the world. So this is Widevine DRM for videos. So this is a industry standard protocol by Google, which is implemented by us. So we are a direct Google partner for implementing this DRM, and we implement this for all our customers. So if you are doing video streaming with us, so specifically you don't have to do anything with Google or Widevine. We take care of this, and we just provide you it in a form of easy WordPress plugin. So encryption does prevent video download, but then there is something like video URL protection. Because if you don't protect the video URL, then somebody can copy the video URL from your website and play it outside your site. So that is where our backend licensing and authentication technology comes in. So we authenticate each of the video playback session, and we ensure that the videos can only play on your website. They don't play outside it anyhow. So these were the two protections to prevent downloading or sharing of URL. But then there is a third use case where the content is of too much premium value, and people try to screen capture it using free tools. So in Mac and Windows, there are some free screen capture tools which record content, though they degrade the quality, but to some extent they still are able to record the content. So we have a viewer specific watermarking feature. So what it does with a WordPress plugin is essentially that it allows you to overlay the student's user ID, email ID, IP address, or any user identifiable information on the player. So just running a quick demo here. So if you can see, there is IP, which is actually my IP. Then there is a name parameter, which if somebody is logged in, it would be his name. So I would show you later live demo with LifterLMS as well. And then there is mail ID. So such user identifiable watermark can be overlaid. So what I showed in the demo was little bit large and very dark. The color, transparency, movement of this watermark, everything can be customized. It can even be kept static. It can also be hidden for a considerable portion of time. This would ensure that the viewer experience is not deteriorated. I would show you later how to integrate such a watermark with a WordPress with WordPress and LifterLMS. So these three, the encryption, the licensing, and the viewer-specific watermarking are the key security offerings. Now, coming to a bit of like most of like many premium businesses do use Vimeo. So as how we compare to Vimeo, so like in Vimeo, there is no DRM encryption. So if you use a tool like say Video Download Helper, it is very easy to grab videos. So in our case, it is no way possible. Then along with security around encryption and authentication, there are some other features like IP geo restriction. So if you want that your content should only play in say USA or only in a certain country, so that is also possible. If you are working for some say corporate and you want only the content to be played inside the company IP, so that is also possible. So similarly, there are many level of authentications possible with Video Cipher, which you can implement for higher security. Then, okay, so like enough about security. So what more we have? So essentially as a complete video streaming package, we do everything right from server to player. So we do have a video player, which is a good HTML5 player with all the features like speed change, multilingual, subtitles, quality options. So the player is adaptive. It switches quality according to the user speed. So there is essentially a timeline. There is also 15-second forward rewind. If you can just see here. So there's a forward rewind as well. And then there are certain player customizations, which just a second. Then there are player customizations, which allow you to completely change the color of the player themes, etc. So it is also inbuilt in the WordPress plugin. I would show you demos in some time. How to essentially use Video Cipher. So like most of the other video players, we also have a video dashboard. So this is a demo video dashboard. You can upload videos from your computer, or we have some greater import options like you can import from Dropbox, you can import from Google Drive, you can import from URL, you can even import something from Vimeo Pro or Vistia. So if you have a larger amount of videos on something like Amazon S3 or on their own server or on say Vimeo Pro, so you can directly transfer videos to Video Cipher using our import feature. So once you upload a video to Video Cipher, it essentially encrypts the content. So different devices require different level of encryption and different kind of encryption, the Android, iOS, and desktop. So that we process those videos and then ultimately it gets ready. So when it gets ready, there is an embed module for WordPress, which you can use to embed videos on your site securely. We also have some detailed analytics feature. On daily basis, we do provide number of views, the storage and bandwidth. So total loads, total unique viewers, total seconds played, what are the popular browsers, what are the popular OS devices, the popular videos by load count or view count. We have also released a detailed beta real-time analytics feature. So for example, this is a currently live database of all the videos playing on Video Cipher website, and like which cities and which countries it is coming from and how much of it is played. For example, this user particularly has played complete video. This has played up till this time. So inside Video Analytics on real-time basis is currently also a beta feature with us, and we are dwelling into providing more detailed analytics feature. So this was mainly about the Video Cipher player security offerings and dashboard to manage the content. So now we would come to the our plugin overview. As all of you are based on WordPress and potentially using LifterLMS. So how to integrate with these two. So this is our plugin. So it is a publicly available plugin. You can go to WordPress website and search for Video Cipher. So there is a plugin. And we do work with LifterLMS. We have tried their integration. So this is a demo WordPress panel where I have already pre-integrated LifterLMS, and I've done courses, membership engagements, and tried with them. So you can simply go to the plugins page. You can search for Video Cipher. You would get Video Cipher plugin. You can install it. So then when you go to configuration to set for settings of Video Cipher, you will get a page looking like this. So these has lot of parameters. So slowly I will come to what it is. So firstly, there is something like API secret key. As I mentioned that we have an backend authentication to ensure that the video URLs don't play outside your website. And we also do a viewer specific watermarking that fetches user ID, email ID, etc. from your WordPress backend. So that requires a different secret key for each account. So if you have signed up on Video Cipher, then there is a config section. In the config section, you can get an API secret key by clicking on the CAPTCHA. And you can put it here. So there is a player height and width which you can set. You can leave it to auto as well. There are different player versions based on our updates. It is recommended to use the latest player version. Then there is also an option to select custom player themes. So for example, these are some of the custom player themes already available. So if you can see, there are different colors, there are different designs. This one looks probably similar to Vimeo. Then there are some other custom made designs which we have made applicable for you. Apart from these, there is an option to entirely add new theme of your own. So you can even design your own theme and add a theme parameter. So for example, so this is a particular theme which we have created, which doesn't have any seek bar. So if you see, there are no buttons. So the essential thing here is like if you want to showcase your video as a live video and you don't want user to skip to any section, you want them to watch fully. So something like this can also be done. So again, this theme ID, if you put it in your WordPress plugin parameter, all your videos would play in a particular theme. Or if you want only a single video to play in a such theme, it can also be done. So you can select a theme, or you can design even some of your own themes. Then you keep the watermark as default in the most cases, that is HTML5 overlay. Then this is a watermarking section. So as I mentioned, we can fetch many details like IP, email ID, user address. So we have detailed documentation on how to do it. So as an example here, this is an IP based watermark. Alpha is for transparency. If I increase it to 1, it would be very dark. If I decrease it to something like 0.1, it would be almost transparent. There is a color code. So you can use a color code to change the color of watermark. You can change the size. And then there are parameters like skip and interval. So skip means like you don't want watermark to always show on the video because it can be distracting. So you can set it that it shouldn't show for say 2 minutes and then show for 10 seconds. So those kind of customizations are also possible. And in case you're trying it out, we would happy to help you with direct sample code. Some of them are already present here, but we would send you more on the basis of your particular requirement. So after you configure these basic settings of Video Cipher, which would hardly take 5 to 10 minutes, you come to LifterLMS. So in LifterLMS, there are courses section. So for example, this is a demo course which LifterLMS already provides. So I tried editing it and see how Video Cipher works with it. So if you go to the editor, so this is a latest WordPress 5. So your editor might look different based on the WordPress version which you are using. So that is fine. So there are different ways to implement a video cipher secure video. But essentially it is a simple shortcode with video ID is equal to the video ID. So if you look at a video cipher dashboard, there is a certain ID with each video. So this is what I have put here. So either you can put it in a simple form of a shortcode, or if you are using the latest WordPress or Gutenberg, then there are options to add blocks. So you can add a shortcode block, or you can add directly a video cipher block, which will allow you to skip adding shortcode, and you can just place the video ID. So using this block, you can just place the video ID and it would work. Then you can push on update, so which will essentially push your video to the course with LifterLMS. So this, like, we have embedded it with LifterLMS course, and as you can see, my name is dynamically generated. With IP, it is currently showing as 1 because this is a local implementation. But if you have a live site, then it would show the user's IP. So there is a small copyright 2018 video cipher mark also here. So all these things, as I showed, are customizable. So it is, as you can see, a very simple 20-minute integration with all the security features in place. So this is integrated with DRMs. So this can't be downloaded. This has watermark. This wouldn't play outside. And you can also change the player theme if required. So this was about how we work with LifterLMS as a plugin integration. I have come to analytics. Then for some of the techies out there, how we do the overall infrastructure, not just the security. So we primarily use Amazon's server plus CDN at our backend. We also use a combination of Google and Akamai CDN to our kitty to make it more reliable. So in case one geography, there's some problem with, say, Amazon's CDN, so we do use certain other CDNs in combination. So essentially, when you upload the videos, they go to our Amazon's server. We have a different kind of setup where we encrypt the videos and keep your raw videos separately. So no raw videos are at never time exposed directly in form of URLs. So all what is exposed in the form of URLs is encrypted content, and that is why it is high secure. Then we do transcoding and encryption for you. So different devices require different sizes, different formats. Even on desktop, multiple formats are required to play content according to internet speed. So we do all those automatic in our setup. And then, as I mentioned, we add Amazon, Google, and Akamai CDN at the ahead of the servers to ensure that the videos play across the world. So we have customers across 34 plus countries currently, and we need to ensure that the videos work fine for well. So CDN across the CDNs like Amazon and Akamai ensure that it does. Then ultimately we do a secure licensing authentication and allow the video to play back. So coming to next part, so how, like, we have customers across like 6 continents. So we have a lot of education companies who have who have their viewers in the number of 100,000 plus. They also use us. We also have been helpful in releasing certain fresh movies online, some English movies. Many of you might have heard of a movie called Men from Earth. So the sequel to it was released online directly through our technology. So then there are similar serial content. Then there are a lot of educational videos across finance, coaching material. And we see that around 30% of our users do use WordPress as their medium to publish content. Then the $1 million question that, okay, everything is good, but how you price the product and is it within my reach? So yes, it is. So we have plans starting from $99 per year, and they can go up till $1,900 a year based on your usage if it is quite high. But the good thing is that all the security offerings which I have mentioned, the DRM, the watermarking, the authentication, all things, they are also available in the starter package. So there is nothing lacking in terms of security even in the starter package. The higher plans, they have a higher amount of bandwidth, and higher amount of storage. So I will come to what storage and bandwidth essentially here means. So storage is simple. What you upload and what we encode for different devices is what comes out as storage. Then there is a bandwidth. So suppose you have a 1 hour lecture, which is 300 MB in size. It is played 10 times across web by your students fully. So 10 times playback of a 100 MB of a 300 MB lecture would essentially mean 10 into 300 MB, that is 3 GB of bandwidth consumed. So it is the same bandwidth which you pay for on any server. So we also pay to Amazon for the bandwidth. So that is why we also operate on a bandwidth model. So we have a bandwidth plus storage based pricing. The bandwidth is the essentially main cost. And higher plans also have a lot more customizations and support features if you require that. The bandwidth plans vary from $0.4 per GB to $0.26 per GB. And we can even provide better rates if your scale is high. Also with LifterLMS customers, we are doing a 10% discount. So you can use a coupon code, which I tell later, to avail the 10% discount with LifterLMS. So this is per year. So many of the customers, when they come to a website, so they still think whether the pricing is in per month or per year. So to be again clear, all the pricing which are on our website, they're essentially per year pricing. Okay. So this is mainly about what Video Cipher is, what is the pricing, and how we integrate. And we do have a great support team which works over the time to ensure that everything is integrated well. And since, as I already mentioned, 30% of customers are on WordPress, so we do a lot of feature updates on WordPress to provide you with all sort of customizations. So this is the coupon code Lifter Video, which you can use if you're looking to pay for, then you can provide us this coupon code to avail the 10% LifterLMS Video Cipher discount. Now hand it over to you, Chris, for any final conclusions, and then to all the audience for further questions and answers.
Awesome. Well, that was an amazing presentation, Siddhant. Very well organized, and I really appreciate that. And just as a product creator myself, I'm just blown away at all the different layers and all the different problems you're solving with Video Cipher. And it really looks well thought out and mature, and really based off the needs of the customer. Everything that you talked about, I just hear in various like pre-sales requests of like, how do I protect this is my situation, how do I protect my videos? You've got like all the bases covered. And $99 a year is a great way for people to start. And that's cheaper than Vimeo, getting started with Vimeo Pro or Wistia with more features. So, and I just admire, I think the fact that you have a Gutenberg block ready to go, like it just shows that your team and the product and the project continues to innovate and just move forward, which makes it, which we do too at LifterLMS. So it just makes it easy for people to just add a video cipher block and put that wherever they want in the course of the lesson. So that's really awesome. And thank you for the general coupon code. That was Lifter VDO, all one word. That's very generous of you. And I want to turn it over to the audience. Do you guys have questions about this? Like, I think Siddhant did a really good job with the presentation, and like he covered a lot of the bases. So I'm not sure how many questions we're going to have because your presentation was so complete. But we've got a hand up. I'm going to bring Ruben up and let's hear what he has to ask. And if you're here, stick around to the end because we are going to do a LifterLMS giveaway. So I'm going to bring Ruben up here to talk. How you doing, Ruben?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I probably don't have video because I don't have my webcam on.
It's okay.
I have a question with regards to the browser compatibility of the the Video Cipher plugin. So I tested it this afternoon on Firefox and Chrome. It seemed to work perfectly, but I had some problems opening up streams on Chromium, which is the open source browser based on Chrome. So I was wondering if there's any issues with browser compatibility of this plugin.
Okay, sure. So, so as I mentioned, we use certain industry standard DRMs which ensure this security. So if you use an HTTPS on your website, then playback on desktop on browsers like Chrome, Opera, Firefox, it is done by HTML5. So it is all encrypted, but still on HTML5. On something like Chromium, yes, it wouldn't work because Chromium doesn't have the essential encryption-based protocols inside it integrated, which prevents it from playing a secure content. It can be possible via Flash player, but currently Flash is being outdated. So yes, it is an issue. But Chromium is still, like we see that Chrome, Firefox, and Opera, they cover most of the segment. And also with Edge and Safari, we have a different HTML5 integration. So these are the popular browsers which are there on the web, and we have an HTML5 integration with them. So, so yes, there is certain limitation you can say which prevents it from playing on Chrome. But because users have other browsers, so it is fine. Also on mobile, if you are using Android Chrome, you are using iOS Safari or iOS Chrome, then also it plays on HTML5.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else while you're up, Ruben?
Well, I have a separate question, which is completely different. I'm from the European Union, and as you know, we are bound by the data protection laws here. And I am actually thinking of implementing Video Cipher, but I don't need all the showing the IP, showing the username, because in my current estimation, that would be a violation of the law we have in the European Union. So I was wondering if I disable all those implementations, no watermarks, no showing IPs or username, is there still user data transferred or transmitted or processed by Video Cipher? Or is it a completely empty video stream that is simply blocking users from downloading the video and that's it?
Yeah, great question. So we do get that GDPR question. So yes, the watermark is completely optional. Default, it is off. So we don't keep it on by as a default. Only if you integrate it via the plugin settings, it is on. So you can decide to not do so. And even when you are doing the watermark, the content, the data of your users is not transferred to us. So it is essentially an integration at your front end where it fetches the email ID and user ID and shows it to your viewers. So the data never gets to us actually, even if when it is showing as a watermark, but you have a complete choice not to show the watermark.
Well, it's really nice talking to somebody who really knows his product. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Ruben. Thanks for your interest, and you have already done a trial. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, Ruben. I'm going to bring Bill up next. How you doing, Bill?
Good, good. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, speak up a little louder.
All right, cool. So thanks for having this session. I greatly appreciate it. And Siddhant, very nice product. I appreciate what you're doing as well. I have 3 questions for you. The first is Camtasia Smart Player. I was going to develop some different video with some features of that. Will it work with your service?
Okay. So you mean you are building your own player?
Yes, yes. It has the Camtasia Smart Player sits in its own file with like 3 different subfolders around it, but the browser file is right inside of there. So could I host a video in its own sub file, I guess, folder?
No, for Video Cipher to work, you need to use our player. But as I mentioned, so there are 2 parts of the player. One is the backend, which does the encryption. So that is always ours because we only know how to decrypt it and play it securely at the final step. But the second part is the front looks, which is essentially the timeline, the colors, the theme, etc. So that is all customizable and you can customize it. So for to finally conclude with the answer, so you can't use a Camtasia based player with our setup.
Okay, gotcha. So that's the first one. The second one is performance with the different encryption and limiting logic that you might be putting on there. How do you handle performance to ensure that we don't get bottlenecked?
Right. So encryption only happens one time when you're uploading the video. So when you upload a video, we create 3 different encrypted files for desktop, Android, and iOS, and they are of the same size as the raw video. So there is no size increase, just that encryption is done. And then when it is transferred, there is nothing extra which is happening. So if you look into the server, it would probably only show still as an MP4 file, which is actually encrypted. So there is no infrastructurally, it is not different from playing a non-secure content. So that is why it doesn't contain any playback issues. And we have a lot of customers in countries like India and Africa where the internet connection is even slow. So we have optimized our encoding and overall streaming to be like smooth even in like those continents. So it plays across the world smoothly.
Gotcha. And with that one, so the analytics you had mentioned earlier, do those capture any type of potential slowness or speed of playback? Any issues that we had?
No. So in because the analytics data which we capture are in very small sizes in some KBs, while the video is essentially in MBs. So there is a higher scale difference, and because we use CDN all across the continents, so there is no problem in playing the content smoothly.
Gotcha. Then my last question here, I understand that you are a subscription service hosting at your location. By chance, do you have, or are you coming out with a middleware product that would allow people who are already hosting on an S3 to apply your technology?
Okay. So firstly, it is not only about S3. We also use the transcoding setup. We also do a CDN, etc. So there are a lot of things. So we do have a offering where you don't have to use use our server, but it is very complicated and it requires somebody in your team also to have a coding background to integrate it, and we only do it for a very large cases. For example, when we work with large media companies, we do provide that kind of integration, but that is technically quite detailed because everything of what we have has to be set up at some place, which requires a lot of time and coding customization based on the exact backend which the customer has.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Any other questions? Drop them in the chat or the Q&A or raise your hand. Happy to take more questions. Bill, I think you still have your hand up, but I think you just haven't put it down yet. I had a couple questions for you, Siddhant. Sometimes we get asked by people looking to build internal training for their company, and they're really sensitive about getting the content, having it leave their company. And this is really outside of what you offer, but I was just curious, how does one go about how does a company get their own IP address? Because you said you can restrict the video to an IP, right?
Right.
So how does that work?
Okay, so how does that work? So as I mentioned, we authenticate each playback via our plugin. So plugins is essentially an API which is integrated with WordPress. So while doing that, we can limit it on the IPs. So there is a feature I would just show you in a demo. Just a minute. So video, so there is a CIDR block which is supported as a part of IP restriction. So most of the companies would have a CIDR block which they can provide for a range of IPs, and which then we can allow for IP restriction. So suppose there is a feature. So allowed IP. So here you can put that CIDR block, and it would essentially restrict the IP.
Very cool. Very cool. We have a question from the audience. Diane is asking, how long is that coupon active? Lifter video.
Okay. So Lifter video is it is active for 2 months. So you are free to
Yeah.
try. And if you like to extend it, we can do that as well. So yeah.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit, like, I know just people ask me this kind of question. A lot of people like to know where a company is heading. Like, what's next for Video Cipher? Like, what other pieces of it are you guys working on? What's in the future?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So one part of it is working around more around on the customization. So some of the basic player customizations we already show, but in future we are also planning to launch something where you can just drag and drop and completely change the player. And as I showcased in demo, we are working on real-time detailed analytics as well. So you can get to know more about your viewers. So analytics and player customizations are the two more aspects. We also might release certain WordPress-based restrictions for the thing. For example, if your course is say 50 hours course, and you want the total watch time by say 100 hours. So those kind of customizations, even in time restriction, we are looking to do.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think, Kathy, we're ready to draw our giveaway winner. And while she's doing that, Abdul, Ann, Bill, Diane, Ellen, Joda, Keith, Lynn, Mark, McCabe, Ruben, Saeed, Tanya, Vibhav, I'm glad you joined us today. Tanya Frontera is the winner. Congratulations, Tanya. Email us at team@lifterlms.com and we'll hook you up with your winnings there. The coupon code for Video Cipher is Lifter Video. That's LIFTER VDO. And there's a link in the chat on where to hit Video Cipher. Siddhant, amazing presentation. Great job with the questions. It's obvious you really know your stuff. Does anybody else have any final questions before we close up for today? Siddhant, I want to thank you for staying up late and joining us for this webinar for the LifterLMS audience. We are going to be sending out a replay, so if Siddhant was going through it and you want to go back and revisit a part of the presentation, we'll have an email to you that's got the replay video to check it out again. Thank you, Lynn, for the kind words. Siddhant, any final words before we wrap this up?
No. So thanks, Chris, for hosting this common webinar. Thanks to all attendees for joining and even trialing before the webinar. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Looking to get questions from you on the support further. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Siddhant, thank you so much. Kathy, thanks for helping run this. And I hope everybody has an awesome rest of your day. Go to the Video Cipher website and use the coupon code LifterVDO and start protecting your videos because it's your intellectual property and you want to, keep that safe. So thanks a lot, Siddhant, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day.
Thank you all.